We're going to have a go at making a cookbook in InDesign. Now, this is cool because once you learn how to use InDesign, you can use it to make newspapers, magazines, and almost anything else that you might want to print. First thing we need to do is go up to our toolbar, click on the little Adobe Cloud symbol there, open up our Adobe Creative Cloud app. We're quite used to this, aren't we? And we're going to have a look to see if we've got InDesign installed. I've got Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign installed on my computer, so I can press open. If you don't have InDesign in this list over here, scroll up and then have a look for InDesign. It will be right near the top, and click on the install button that is next to InDesign. Wait a couple of minutes, let it install, and then it will be in your list like this. Let's just press open right now. You'll see that InDesign takes a couple of seconds to open. It might take longer on yours if you're using it for the first time. Now, in this menu over here, we want to click on A4 because it's a printable thing that we want to make, and we normally print on A4. So I'll double click this, wait another few seconds, and on my page, you will see an A4 piece of paper. Now, the way to control InDesign is really similar to the way we use Illustrator. We can zoom in and out just using our trackpad. We can use two fingers to move around, left and right, up and down like that. So it works almost the same as Illustrator. On our left-hand side, we have all the tools that we can use, and some of them you will recognize from Illustrator and also Photoshop. We're only going to use a couple of tools today. On the right-hand side, really important, as we remember from our Illustrator, properties. And that way we can control what color things are, where they are, how they look, and all the other things that we need to look at when we're making something like a cookbook. First thing we're going to do is add a really nice big picture into our page. We'll go to the left-hand side and we're going to go down to this little square or rectangle with a cross in there. And that is called the rectangle frame tool. I like to call it the picture frame. We'll click on it once, go into our document, and I'm going to go right up to the edge like this, and I'm going to draw a big rectangle like that. You can see I've got this cross inside this rectangle. That tells me that InDesign is waiting for me to put a photograph in there. Now, guys, a really important thing is that InDesign is not like Microsoft Word or Google Docs. You don't simply go on the internet and copy and then paste the picture in. That's not how InDesign works. So what I've done is I've made myself a folder, a safe folder that I know I won't delete. And in here, I'm going to put all the pictures that are going to go into my cookbook. All of them. Don't leave them on your desktop. Don't delete them. And certainly don't, guys, copy and paste stuff in. I'm going to pick up this picture and just drop it into this rectangle here. Now, you might be looking at this picture thinking, it's a really big picture, but I don't really see what's happening. That's because InDesign treats photographs quite differently. Now, I want you to look very carefully at your screen because what I'm about to do will take some concentration. I, of course, need to click on the black arrow. And for those of you guys who remember your Illustrator, you press V on your keyboard and the black arrow comes. I'm going to go to the side here and just zoom out like that so you can see the page quite small. I'm going to go into my frame tool, that's my picture frame, and I'm going to click on this circle. Now, if you look really carefully, that little brown outline is my actual photograph. It's absolutely huge. If I go in there and move it around, you can see that the photograph is huge, but the frame is tiny. So what we want to do is try and fit our photograph into this frame. Let's just click outside. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Now, we could do it by hand, but that's not the way it's supposed to be done. So what we'll do, making sure the black arrow is clicked, click outside somewhere just once, and now click once in the blue frame. You can see that I've clicked on the blue frame because the markers are there around it. I'm now going to go inside, right-click, I'm going to go halfway down to where it says Fitting, and I'm going to choose the top option, Fill Frame Proportionally. Click on that, and what you'll see is InDesign will automatically make my photograph fit perfectly inside this frame over here. And that's all I need to do. I'm done with that. Now let's add some text. I'll just zoom out a tiny bit so you can see what I'm doing. So you can see my photograph is sitting there. I quite like the way it looks. I want to put a title. So now I'm going to use my second tool. The letter T in Photoshop, Illustrator, and any Adobe software means text, or the text tool. Click on it once, go down. I'm going to stay inside my margins now. That's quite important. I'm going to make a box that goes all the way from left to right. You can see that I've got a little flashing cursor, a little thing to tell me that I can type. So I'm going to type in the name of this dish like that. Now, the font is really small and it's all the way on the left and it's all the way on the top. No worries, guys. We can solve this. So once our box is clicked on like this, we can go down to our properties window. You remember I said it was really important to have that properties window there. We'll go down to where it says Minion, and you guys know I don't really like this font very much. I think what I want to go for is a slightly thicker, bigger font. So let's go for, I'll be boring today. I'll just go for Impact, like there. So that's my font there. It's still a little bit small. So what I'll do is go to the size and I'll just make it bigger like that. I'm going to make it really quite big. So I'm not going to be scared of making my title big. And I'm going to go down here and put it in the center. That already looks pretty good. Now what I want to do is obviously I want to type a recipe. I want to type some text in. So I'm going to go back to the text tool there. I'm going to draw another box. Again, guys, I'm sticking to the margins. Now, because I don't have any text to put in here right now, I'm going to do something quite clever. Again, I'm going to click on the black arrow. That's that one there. I'm going to right click inside this text box and I'm going to choose fill with placeholder text. And what that will do is it will just throw in some basically fake Latin. And what that does is it lets me see what does the page look like with writing on it. I can see it looks pretty good, but this is not the way we write cookbooks. So let's do something about it. Make sure the black arrow is clicked. Click on your text box. And now we're going to spend a bit of time in our properties window on the right here. Now, the first thing I think we should do is go right to the bottom where it says text frame. We can see that we have this little button that has to do with columns. I'm going to click on it once and immediately make 2 columns like that. I'm also, because it's a cookbook, I'm going to go next to it and make the gap in between the 2 columns quite big, something like that. Now we know I don't like Minion Pro as a font, so what I'm going to do is change that from Minion to a font I quite like at the moment, which is Didot. Let me just go to the D's there. I quite like this font at the moment. And what we'll do, once we've got our column set up and our text set up, I'm going to just select it all like this and delete it. Let's select the last part and delete it. Now what I can do, if I've already got the recipe written down somewhere, I simply need to copy and paste it in. I don't have it copied at the moment, so I'm just going to write down some of these things. So for this recipe, I might need flour. I know you need potatoes. I know you need peas, and so on and so on. Now, when we write ingredients in a recipe book, you definitely need bullet points. So we'll click that little bullet point there and have it looking amazing. And then after that, you might do the method or how to cook or however you're writing your recipe and continue to write through all the way here. And the really cool thing is as you write in this column over here, it will automatically go to the top of the next column. So you don't have to worry about fitting your text in or anything like that. Let's just delete that. Let's zoom out. And that, you guys, will get you started really quickly in making a really beautiful page on InDesign to make it look amazing and to make people want to cook the recipes you've written down.